Hey everyone, Dudes Jude here back with another Yu-Gi-Oh video, and today we're talking about the best OCG decks for new players in 2024. So the January 2024 OCG ban list was recently announced, and decks like Purity and Rescue Ace are gonna be hit hard, while decks like Fire King looks to just keep up its work as the best deck in the OCG format. And for new players, it's gonna be a bit overwhelming. So the meta is really diverse. There's a lot of strategies to consider, and there's really a lot of viable decks that can shape the meta and help you adapt and compete at the highest level. But for new players, we want to make sure that the new journey is a better experience and make sure that you're well equipped to compete in small OCG events, big OCG events, and everything in between. So, with that in mind, I chose four different decks that allow you to have a really solid experience as a new player and a breakdown of what makes these strategies really good and recommended deck lists. But before we go into that, we're gonna talk about what makes a good deck and other deck types. So, what makes a good beginner deck? So, I put it in three categories that I want to cover. So, first check mark is the solid learning curve. So, I want to recommend a deck that allows you to learn the basic combo lines and summoning mechanics, how trap cards and spell cards work, how some rulings work. So, I want to make sure that it covers a good amount of that. So you want to learn all the basic Yu-Gi-Oh mechanics while also allowing you to play modern Yu-Gi-Oh, which is very combo oriented and allows you to have a really good learning curve where you start with basic combo lines that consist of a few cards and then eventually work your way up to learn complex combo lines and play lines that just allow you to enjoy the game more. Next is price. So, as a new Yu-Gi-Oh player, it can be really expensive. Yu-Gi-Oh can be really expensive. So you want to make sure that the deck can be bought at an affordable price point. Next is competitive viability. You want the deck to at least compete against new strategies. And for the Yu-Gi-Oh deck types, I divided it into five. So one is mid-range. Mid-range are flexible strategies that allow you to disrupt your opponent in many different ways. So that means these decks can play long combo lines or can play shorter, more efficient lines, but still offer you a good amount of interaction against your opponent that allows you to counter their strategy or allow you to keep playing through a lot of disruption that they also take on you. So really good flexible strategy. Next is combos. So combo are decks that create huge strong boards that you and uses a lot of summons and extenders. So this allows you to create um very strong, nearly unbreakable boards at times. However, the learning combo is really complex because you have a lot of cards to consider. You summon a lot of monsters, you have to keep track of everything, of your resources, and what monsters you need to summon to keep your combo going. Which is really great if you're at an advanced level of Yu Gi Oh! Once you get the hang of it. So that's really good. Next, we have Beatdown. Beatdown are powerful strategies that are designed to overpower your opponent by either, battling them to zero life points or breaking their board. So beatdown is a very simple strategy, yet it's very powerful that at its peak you can dismantle entire boards of your opponent and just win the game outright. So yeah, pretty good strategy there. Next is Control. Control is a grind game resource management strategy that um allows you to control the pace and flow of the game to your own interaction. So making sure that you keep your opponent at bay, you keep their resources and plays at bay, you stop certain lines, and make sure that you have complete dominance over them when you're playing, and ensure that you win the slow game. So it's pretty complex, but Control gets is a really good strategy for new players as well. Stun is consists of decks that prevent opponents from playing certain cards and strategies. So stun shuts down a lot of playstyles and strategies through powerful floodgates. So this is very annoying, but also a strong beginner strategy. However, I don't think I have a strategy that's completely a stun deck, so I don't want to recommend that because I want to make sure that the deck types or the decks that I recommend for new players offers them ways to learn the game through diverse interactions that, what makes Yu-Gi-Oh really good. So now we're gonna go with the first deck among the four. We're gonna go with Sword Soul Tenyi. So Sword Soul Tenyi was one of the best decks in Yu-Gi-Oh during 2021 and 2022. This includes OCG results, TCG YCS wins, and Master Duel tiered contention. Sword Soul is a solid deck until now and can take on the current Yu-Gi-Oh meta with its on its own. So let's go. So deck info, the deck type is mid-range, so it's very flexible. You can turn the deck into a deck that has long combo lines, or you can play a simpler, more conservative strategy that allows you a really good amount of disruption nonetheless. Main monster types, this deck is a synchro monster deck. Although it has some link monsters that allow you to enable your combo lines, the synchro monsters are the ones you want to summon to keep your game going. Price mid to high. This is one of the more expensive decks in this list. However, I'd argue that it's okay to invest in Sword Soul Tenyi because it might be expensive, but it's a strategy that's really evergreen and has survived multiple formats. Curve intermediate. The basic combo lines are very simple, but once you get the hang of it, you'll get to discover some of the more complex combo lines that allow you to outplay your opponent at times. Really good plays. So one of the pros, Sword Soul Tenyi has access to some of the best synchro monsters like Baron de Fleur, which is a powerful monster that allows you to have an Omni Negate and a card, destroy one card effect, really cool, and allows you to tag out from your graveyard with like any level 9 or lower monster, which is very vast, which allows you to revive your other synchros. So you have access to something like Cheng Ying, which is a double banish, and a really big beat stick that also depowers your opponent's monsters on the field whenever you have a banish card. And Chisha, which is a powerful face up negate. And with all of that on your board, you have very powerful disruptions that just ensure that you keep the game under your control and beat your opponent. Next pro is the deck has really strong starters that allow you to start your combo lines very fast. Stuff like Swords of Moye can allow you to instantly create a level 8 synchro off the bat. Ashuna allows you to open up the really interesting and fun Tenyi combo lines that allow you to create your board without even needing to special summon. Or you can have your special summoning last, your normal summoning last, and keep your combo going. Really cool. So those are the deck's extenders, which also offer a lot of lines of play that you can eventually learn as you just keep playing and learning the deck even more, getting to become familiar with it. One last pro, I think. Sword Soul Tenyi is an engine that's pretty small, pretty compact. So that means you have a lot of space for hand traps and powerful staples. Hand traps like Maxi, Ash Blossom can fit there. You can put Pot of Desires to increase the consistency of your deck, allows you to draw into your combo pieces, or even other staples that just ensure that you keep control of your game. However, the deck has some drawbacks, so the deck can run powerful staples, but the deck is also very vulnerable to those same staples. So stuff like Nibiru can break your board easily. Maxi punishes you for summoning. Ash Blossom can stop certain interactions like searching your Tenyi monsters or Sword Soul monsters. And the deck is also powerful, also vulnerable to powerful going second cards. While as I said, the deck is powerful, but um the main staples of Yu-Gi-Oh can easily counter it if you're not careful. However, my overall thoughts on this deck is, if you're looking for a deck that's really powerful, easy to learn, very consistent, Sword Soul is a deck that gives you solid lasting power, so you can keep playing this strategy and get familiar with how Yu-Gi-Oh works, until and then you can choose to switch to a new deck. And here's my recommended list. So its build is pretty simple. A good amount of hand traps, a lot of engine pieces that make sure that you get into your combos early, and allow you to adapt to the current Yu-Gi-Oh metagame. So the side deck here is really good for the next format in January. So just to ensure that you're in a good spot. We move on to the next deck, Umi Control. So Umi Control is a simple yet really effective budget strategy that has become, a really good control deck, especially when it was released in 2022. So, it's really good in a lot of formats, and the combo lines are easy to learn, making it a really good deck for new players. Now let's go for the deck info. It's a control deck that utilizes main deck monsters. It's a very cheap deck, so you can afford this off the bat. Learning curve is really easy. And you can get familiar with the combo lines in just a couple of hours. You get familiar with it, and then when you play it longer, it's pretty much muscle memory at that point. Next, the pros of this deck. The deck's lines of play are really linear. However, they're really powerful because it offers you like a floodgate, like Karyushin, prevents your opponents from having more than one non-water monster on the field, which is pretty annoying for against a lot of decks. Your opponents will not like this monster on the field. But then again, it will slow down their plays, making sure that you have the advantage on your board. And yeah, the lines are simple, but it offers you a negate, a floodgate, and even some removal options that are really powerful. Next pro, Umi Control also offers great protection, especially the form of Sea Stealth attack, which prevents your spell and trap cards from getting destroyed, which makes sure that you have the grind game advantage of your opponent. The strong support monsters like Electric Jellyfish, Mega Fortress Whale allow you to just make sure that you can disrupt your opponent and slow down their combo lines even more. Now for the cons. Now, while the deck has Sea Stealth attack, which prevents destruction, the deck can still be vulnerable to board breakers that banish your board, like Evenly Match and Cosmic Cyclone. And Hand trap disruption can also break some lines of play, especially if your hand is not as good. So you have to be careful with that. Despite all of that, Umi is very affordable. It's easy to learn. Gives opponents a really big headache if you set up really good. So it's a really solid option, especially for a new player. Now for this recommended build, it's a very simple build that still has staples and enough consistency cards to make sure that you get to access your play lines. So this build gives you um very quick consistency, allows you to search your field spell, search your monsters more easily, have Pot of Extravagance that draws two. Make sure that you keep control of your game. Now for the next build, we have Fluwanderees. So Fluwanderees is um a beneficiary of the January 2024 OCG ban list because its field spell is now unlimited again. So that means you can play Fluanderies and ensure that you have a really good budget deck that might even be tiered next format. So let's see. Deck type, it's a mid-range deck. It has a really linear combo line, but it's more of mid-range because it allows you to um either make a strong board early on or set up a board during the opponent's turn, which is really cool. It's a main deck monster deck. Price is low to mid, so it depends on how viable it is. The price can increase if it becomes tiered. However, it's still a pretty budget deck even at that state. Learning curve intermediate, it gets a bit more complex when you're playing during your opponent's turn and playing through your opponent's disruptions, but learning this deck is worth it because it's pretty effective. Okay. Pros, Floowandereeze uses normal and tribute summoning, which means it bypasses Maxi, which punishes a lot of decks in the OCG. But Floowandereeze does not care about Maxi because you can keep normal summoning and not they will draw nothing if they resolve Maxi. So that's really fun. Floowandereeze in Empen is a powerful boss monster that prevents your opponents from activating effects of special summon monsters in attack position. So that hampers so many strategies. It completely beats linked decks because linked decks will always be summoned in attack position because they don't have a defense. They don't have defense values. Another pro deck has access to stuff like Miss Valley Apex Avian and Rise of the Mega Monarch. So Apex Avian is a Omni Negate that's reusable. Rise of the Mega Monarch allows you to bounce cards back to the deck or back to the hand. Really, really strong. Laundries also allows you to play during the opponent's turn with Magnificent Map in Dreaming Town, which allows you to normal summon during the opponent's turn, comboing off in front of them, which can be really annoying for the opponent, but it doesn't matter because you're the one using it, you're the one enjoying that combo line. And you have access to cards like Featherstorm, which shuts down a lot of effects during the opponent's turn. Now for the cons, the deck can still lose to a lot of hand traps. Stuff like Drone Lockbird completely shuts down your combos. Ash Blossom can shut down your combo if you only have a normal summon. Infinite Permanence, Effect Vigor can also do that. The deck can sometimes be inconsistent. You can get weird hands that really makes your combos really awkward. So it can be really weird sometimes. And the deck is vulnerable to some of the best board breakers in the game. Evenly match can beat the deck. Lightning Storm, Raigeki can still hurt the deck a lot. So you have to be careful. However, if you want a deck that's ready to take on the January OCG format, Fluandereeze is a choice that just ensures that you can compete immediately and even try out a big event despite being a first time player. That's how confident I am with this deck. Recommended build, I made sure this build is the right balance of consistency. So I have like 6 pot cards for the draw. And I have terraforming to make sure that you get your copies of map more often. Time tearing Morganite allows you to draw two every next draw phase, so that's really good. Dimension Shifter makes sure that you counter a lot of the graveyard strategies that will be prominent in the next format. The side deck pretty much is going second shutdown or going first shutdown, so really good. Now for our fourth deck, I think. Yeah, fourth and final deck, Trap Tricks. So Trap Tricks recently got a structure deck, and arguably it's probably the best structure deck next to Fire King because it has staples like Maxi and Evenly Matched. And because of that, Trap Tricks is one of the best budget strategies for new and experienced players. So if you're a new player who wants to learn Yu-Gi-Oh for the first time, or if you're a returning player who wants to learn modern Yu-Gi-Oh, Trap Tricks is a really good choice. Trap Tricks is a control deck that uses Link and Xyz monsters. Price is low if you're just looking at the core. Price is going up when you want to upgrade your deck even more. Learning curve intermediate. It has some combo lines that you have to learn, but and you have to time your trap cards properly. But it gets really simpler after you get familiar with that. So Trap Tricks gives you combos that allow you to use your powerful trap cards and summon extra bodies to summon powerful Xyz monsters of the Trap Tricks archetype. So it's really powerful in that, very consistent. Trap Tricks Sarah is a custom card in a way because it allows you to set a whole card, it allows you to special summon a Trap Tricks monster from your deck. So really, really great extender, or allows you to set up your board. Another pro, each trap hole card allows you to counter types of decks. So trap holes are pretty specific on what they counter. However, that how specific they are is really good because you can just hit your opponent's choke points really hard with those interactions and keep the game under your control. Next is the deck has a lot of level 4s, so you can use rank 4 Xyz monsters like Baguska to shut down your opponent's board. You can use Time Thief Redoer to disrupt your opponent even more. So there's just a lot of ways to make your deck even more viable and ensure that you have the upper hand. Now for the cons of the deck. Now since the deck allows you to extend and go for a bit of combos, it's still vulnerable to stuff like Nibiru, which wipes your board after your 5th summon. You have to be careful with that. And the deck can struggle going second because you have to set up a bit, you have to do your combos a bit, and doing that going second sometimes is very, very difficult. But then again, if you want a very affordable way to, start your Yu-Gi-Oh journey, buying 3 tactics structure decks is the best way because you have access to good staples, you have a deck that's playable out of the box, and it's just really, overall, really, really good. But for now, I guess, we're gonna go with the recommended build first before we end the video. So, this build allows you to have access to your combo line, so we have more monsters here. We have a really good trap card toolbox. You have evenly matched here, just in case you lose the coin toss. So you can start your game. You can start your game by breaking your opponent's board. Really good. So yeah, really good, really solid deck list here that allows you to just keep playing. Make sure that you have the upper hand when it comes to controlling your opponent's board. And I guess with that, it's time to duel. You pick one of those 4 decks, and I can ensure you that you'll have a really solid time with modern Yu-Gi-Oh. And I hope you start your journey the right way with this, and you duel your way to the top. And if you have any if experienced players are watching this and you have other deck recommendations, can you leave it in the comments below. If you have questions about how each of the 4 decks here work, you can leave it in the comment section. I can answer the best of my ability. And if you have other questions about the OCG, how to get started with Yu-Gi-Oh, I can also answer that right away in the comment section. But for now, that's it for today's video, and thanks for watching. You can like this video, you can share this video, you can subscribe to the channel to help this channel grow, and you can check out my other Yu-Gi-Oh content. I have stuff like the Asian English tier list. I have a lot of Master Duel content if you want to learn Master Duel and start there instead of OCG, which is also really good. So there's many ways to start your Yu-Gi-Oh journey, and I hope you find the right path to enjoy the game and duel your way to the top. But for now, that's it for today's video, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. So goodbye, guys.